Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Golden's Guide. I'm Deborah Hawkins, your host, and Leonka, our co-host. And we're so excited for our show today. Oh my goodness, I've been so waiting on her to come. As you can see here on the table, these are products that I am absolutely crazy about, and I can't wait for you to hear about them. You are going to meet Susan Kitson today, and she owns a company called Sleep Swag. Don't you love that name? It's so great. Let me tell you a little bit about her before we have her join the conversation, and you're not going to believe it. I mean, I love everything about what she's doing. Susan is the founder, of course, of Sleep Swag, a luxury lifestyle brand changing the way the world sleeps.
Amazing.
Oh, I love that. As a former flight attendant and mother of three, she knows how vital a good night's sleep is for everyone's health and happiness, which is why no detail is spared in the creation of her high quality and ethically manufactured products. I love that they're manufactured right here. And so with that, I mean, there's a whole lot we're going to talk about. But anyway, with that, welcome, Susan.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So glad to have
Thank you both
here.
for having me on the show. I'm very excited to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you.
And I love that you're here. You're local. You're from Asheville. Do you have a store? Or is it all online?
It's all online.
It's all online. Great,
I work
great.
I work at home.
Right.
My office and where I make everything is
Right.
at.
Well, tell us a little bit about how you kind of, got into this and really thought it up.
Absolutely. We're actually coming up on our 6-year anniversary this November, which
Congratulations.
I can't believe actually. But the concept started growing about 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I've worn a sleep mask for years after being a flight attendant and raising 3 boys. Went out to buy a new one, and I just couldn't find anything that I loved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just couldn't. And after that, I'm like, that's it. I am going to design a sleep mask with all the features that I couldn't find.
Mm-hmm.
And I had envisioned these beautiful silks and, luxurious is what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how the process began.
I love that.
I do too.
And you're right, because I up until I found yours, the ones that same way I would they were too thin, or they were too thick, or they were too tight, or there was just one of my favorites. I don't even remember where I got it. I had it forever and ever until I think it just finally fell apart. But I could not find what I was looking for. And then when I found your company on Instagram, and I started following you, and then I just started seeing all these wonderful things, and I'm like, oh, this is so up my alley.
Okay.
So you started 6 years ago, and so now do you have a team, or how does it work? I know that a lot of these you do yourself. You actually.
Absolutely. So
Mhm.
I make the crystal mist, the room and body mist, the aromatherapy, but I don't sew. So I have 2 local women-owned businesses in Asheville. Ames Cut and Sew, she makes the lavender eye pillows, and Excelsior Sewing, they make the sleep mask.
I
That's
love it.
awesome.
And that, I'm so excited to finally. Manufacturing's tough.
I
And
was
it's
gonna
tough.
ask a lot about
It
that.
is.
That's probably
Yeah.
one of the hardest parts of the business.
I would
So
imagine
I was-
finding the right people
Mhm.
and the right connection, and yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things that I saw that you really, expressed or boasted about in your online was about the manufacturing, and that the fact that with livable wages, what is that importance to you as far as being a business owner, being able to work with even Greenville-based companies here in manufacturing?
Well, it's, many companies after I found out starting my business, go overseas and to other countries to get their products made because it's hard to find manufacturing. And it costs more to have it made here.
Tell us about your journey.
But, well, they first started out, I had them made in California. That was not working out. And then I went to New York, and that worked out for a while. And then I actually found a woman here in Greenville for a while, and it was just one woman. Anyway, she retired, and then I found the two different companies in Asheville. So I'm
Wonderful.
thrilled, and it's important to me that, they're paying their people a living wage.
Yes.
Because in today's, it's just important.
It
you know.
is. It is.
And you don't hear that very
often.
often, actually. Maybe we're hearing it more and more. I mean, there was a brewery not long ago that I heard an interview, and they were adamant about making sure that their people, were paid, correctly. But I think there's a lot of businesses that don't think that way. So Leonka and I were both very happy and excited to not only, your products are clean and beautiful and luxurious, but you're just doing right by
Yes, the
people.
socially conscious. And I
Yeah.
think that's,
Thank
you know,
you.
a beautiful thing about businesses that do well. We saw Tom's Shoes do really well early
Mhm.
on because, every shoe goes back and, provides shoes for other children in another country. And then you saw, the glasses that eyewear company do really well. The thing about doing well with socially conscious, sometimes it's not always cheaper to do that. But we
That's
hope
right.
that the consumer also sees that and will, doesn't mind spending a little bit more for a beautifully crafted premium product that they can give to their friends.
Absolutely.
That also helps benefit the livelihoods in the area.
Uh-huh.
So that's a great, I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad that you really, put that on the forefront as your business.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
So, are you from Asheville?
Not originally. I'm from Oklahoma originally.
Are you really? Oh, wow.
But I was a flight attendant living in New York, and my husband's from Bermuda, and I met him on the airplane.
I love that.
Oh, it's a
20
love story. I love
Yes.
airplane love
I
stories.
know.
29 years ago. So
Wow.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
Awesome.
and your experience as a flight attendant, like you said, really led you to knowing the importance of sleep. Can you talk a little bit about that? The importance of sleep. I think in our society, it's starting to change,
Mhm.
but we put in Ariana Huffington is now a big advocate of sleep. But I imagine there was a lot of sleepless nights in her journalism. We're starting to put that on the forefront as a conversation, but there's still a lot of I work longer than the 9 to 5 mentality. That's like hard work, work hard, play hard. I get that, but it doesn't have to come at the cost of our health. And I think that people are starting to realize that and have that conversation. And I love that you start and led in that on your website as well.
Thank you. Well, I mean, we all know what it's like to have the lack of sleep and what it does to you. And, when you're raising children, and when I was a flight attendant and working crazy hours, it really does affect your health. And, when I came up with the sleep mask, it tickled me to think that if I could help, other people have a good night's rest, that, I would be thrilled. That's my goal, is to help people relax and get a good night's sleep and feel better and have a little luxury in their life.
I love that passion. And,
Yeah.
you and I had a conversation about, women now, maybe especially, women, nurses or physicians or people really on the front lines with, COVID still happening. And, we talked about maybe the only luxury they get is a good night's sleep. And just the fact
Absolutely.
that you can, that's got to be a feel good thing for you
Oh.
to know, that you're able to, give to the men and women who are really needing it. And that sometimes is their only luxury,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I have, I don't know what branch of military he is in. I don't know if it's Army or I think Army. He found Sleep Swag online years ago, right after I launched. And he has been ordering sleep masks for him and his wife, who live overseas somewhere. And he said, this is the best sleep mask we've ever had, which just made my day.
Of course,
I
of
love
course.
And so for
that.
them being wherever they are,
Yeah.
they've got their silk sleep mask and they're sleeping.
Well, speaking of that, how do you how since you don't have a store and you're all online, how do you market yourself? I mean, is that a challenge or is it how does that work
It
for
is
you?
because marketing costs money
Uh-huh.
to have a company.
Of course.
And I started off with that a little bit and had someone helping me with my social media. But I wasn't getting the returns in what I was putting out. So I just started doing everything myself. And, at the time when my boys were a little bit younger, they taught me everything that you could learn about Instagram and because I didn't know what I was doing.
Well, they know.
They know.
For sure. It takes, Leonka laughs at me. It'll take me forever to figure out how to do a post, But yeah.
I market to spas and I go, in fact, we were really, Sleep Swag was really starting to take off right before COVID, and I'd gone to a spa convention in Savannah, and then COVID hit, and it's kind of...
Well, didn't you tell me that you're at Grove Park Inn? Is it
Yes.
Grove Park Inn? That's
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
Because I know their spa. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's an amazing.
It sounds amazing.
Spa and
Oh.
no, it's beautiful. It's
beautiful.
it's up on the mountain. It's really
Oh, gosh.
fantastic, and they have several different kinds of spas there, right? Different pools and different kind of things.
It's beautiful. Waterfall.
I think they're rated like up there, like in the top 10
I
or
think so,
something in the
too.
country.
Yeah.
So that's amazing
Kudos to you.
kudos to you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
I know I've been telling Susan I want to drag her around Greenville and, make sure that she meets, all the right people here because everybody
that.
needs your product.
Yes. I mean, and speaking of everybody needing your product, tell us a little bit about the product and how you came to these different pieces of lines. I mean, yes, we're talking about masks, and I just want to put this out there. When I thought of masks, I don't use a sleep mask. I never have. My sleep, everything is probably. I'm the poster child for I need work. I do, and I'm completely honest about it. I am that way, but I also thought about a sleep mask as like, oh, it's just a luxury, right?
Uh-huh.
And one that I probably didn't even really put two thoughts about. And she said, Deborah stopped me. She goes, no, you have to hold this. It's not even a mask. It's a sleep pillow, first off, and it's weighted. Can you tell us a little bit about that as well?
Absolutely. So
Let me hold that one
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, because this is my favorite thing, everyone. It's my absolute
I love
favorite
hearing
thing.
So these are crystal infused lavender eye pillows. So they
Now,
have...
I didn't know they had crystals in them.
Yes, they
Which
have...
has its own healing effect.
Absolutely.
No wonder I can't go without it anymore.
So there's a blend of amethyst, black tourmaline, which is very grounding, and rose quartz, which is just pure love. And
gosh.
I don't know if I told you this, but I take the crystals, and I've got my Reiki license, and I put them in a crystal bowl, and I sonically tune them
Stop! I have
Susan,
to have
to
one.
enhance peace and rest and calm.
We're gonna cry. We're gonna cry right here and now.
Of course, you're on the show
And-
because
You
guidance
didn't
is
tell me
everything
that.
for us.
Oh my gosh.
So that is part of
Which
the pillow,
even-
which is,
Yes, it makes it even
So
more
tell us
lovely.
again. So the step by step. So the crystals are. Tell us again. Tell us the whole thing you just said.
So I take the three crystals, the amethyst, black tourmaline, and rose quartz, and I have a big crystal, Himalayan crystal bowl,
I love that.
and I put the crystals in the bowl. And have you ever seen somebody play? Okay, and so
Like a singing bowl kind
yes,
of thing.
and I tune the crystals using my Reiki skills with it to enhance love and rest and peace.
Oh man.
And that goes in. So a lot goes into
There's
making.
a lot of love in these.
Yes.
Oh,
There's
and a
a-
lot of really healing energy, which Leonka and I are all about that. All about that.
Awesome.
Well, and I thought it was so interesting. If you'll hand me that, Leonka, when I got all the different mists, and I don't know if you can see this on camera, but all of her different mists actually have crystals in them as well. So you also
I do the same.
You do the
too.
same
Can
with
you tell us a
these.
little bit about the crystal healing energy? Like, what is just a really snippet for those who may not be familiar?
Right, and a lot of people aren't. So all different crystals or gemstones have healing properties. And like amethyst is a great one to have by your bed. It's great for like relaxation and peace and sleep. And black tourmaline, which is in all my products, is super grounding.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps your feet on the ground, so you're not just running around like a chicken with your head cut off all day.
And I would imagine too that would kind of pull you back into the body when you're trying to sleep,
Oh,
versus your
does.
mind
that.
being like running
Right,
away
the
with
way we
itself.
do.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And then rose quartz, which is just a beautiful stone of
Self-love, yes.
self-love.
Self-love.
My goodness.
I used to,
And-
yes, and I still actually do. I have a bigger one now that I carry in my pocket, but I used to carry one in my bra.
Me too.
Did you?
Until a couple times I leaned
am
over and it
learning,
fell
y'all.
out. And I'm like, oh, sorry.
You're being
I'm
indoctrinated. Many years ago. Yeah, I would carry one. And, yeah. You have to. Some of them are really powerful. I mean, some
Absolutely.
of them, like you're not to wear that close to the heart. You
Right.
should, have them, in different areas. But and I think I shared this with you. I had a heart. I call it a heart awakening.
Mm-hmm.
It was a heart attack.
Yes, and I like to call it a heart awakening.
I
know, but yes, I use the pink.
The rose
The
quartz.
rose quartz. I use that a lot,
Nice.
especially for the heart healing.
Yep.
And
That's
yes.
amazing.
Mhm. So yeah, and I mean, what you're doing is amazing, but this just puts it over the top of the energy that you're putting in it. And let's talk for a minute, as Leonka was asking, so people can understand. I actually am certified second degree in Reiki. And now I did that a very long time ago when my father, before his transition, to really help him. It's not something that I've used much anymore. But tell the folks at home who may not understand what Reiki healing is. What
It
it
is. It's energy. I mean, you don't actually put your hands on the person. You just kind of feel their energy, and sometimes energy gets blocked,
Mm-hmm.
and so this helps it move
Mhm.
and help. It's similar to acupuncture a little bit,
Well,
or
we use tapping on this show a lot.
Or tapping.
to
Mhm.
remove emotional, blockages within the body.
right.
Yeah, we just did a big show last
Yeah.
week on tapping.
Oh.
Exactly. So we definitely know
Mhm.
that there are things that get blocked and lock us up and run subconsciously our lives sometimes, even on autopilot, and or keep us awake and help us. There are things that we can do with our energy that help us sleep or regenerate,
Absolutely.
recoup, love,
Mhm.
And open up.
Right.
Ground,
And
focus,
ground.
all
Mhm.
those.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm so excited
Right.
to be sharing this with our listeners and viewers as well. And I think about, when you think about the word luxury, sometimes when you really break it down to the word luxury has a negative connotation sometimes, but for something like this, when you really are looking at the luxury of the value of health, it really doesn't. It changes the equate there,
Right.
right? So it becomes a necessity.
Mhm.
So we forget to really associate those two words
Mhm.
and something like this together as true health and healing, and then it becomes something that we should all incorporate more.
I'm
into
glad
our
you're
lives.
bringing that up, because I do think sometimes, because we've heard that phrase, well, that's a luxury, like
Right.
it's too much for us or something like that. But I do think now more than ever, any time that we can incorporate something for healing for the body, for something that's important. Sleep runs everything. If you don't get sleep,
True.
nothing going to work.
That's right.
So, sleep is a luxury, let's face it. And
Sure.
and for many people who struggle with insomnia and people who work different shifts, like you did. And I just love that. I did want to ask as well. Now we've got these are aromatherapy room sprays, which
Those are my favorites.
I love. And we had this conversation this morning about sometimes I put too much essential oil in my diffuser, and then it's too much, or it's not enough, or
sleep. So,
but the idea of being able to to spray it either in the room or around, I think that's fabulous. And also, tell me your thoughts around this. I love the idea of, because the one that I got from you, I almost use it like a clearing spray for the room. I mean, have you?
Love that.
And that's interesting because I gave you Unity, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and that has many different essential oils in it, and I can't name them off the top of my head right now, but it's a very grounding blend.
Wow.
And I had someone who was a essential oil mixologist, who was also a very good friend of mine, Kristen Hux. She helped me come up with all the blends. So they were very thoughtfully done.
And that's pretty scientific right there.
It is. It really is.
She knew exactly which ones, kind of went together and what were their healing properties and what were their healing properties together, and what were we trying to accomplish. And so that one is a very grounding.
I love it.
Awesome.
It has wild orange, spruce, whole leaf, frankincense, blue, chamomile, coconut, another flower I can't pronounce, but I believe, and it smells amazing, you guys. I mean, it sometimes it takes a lot to get the sage out or to get the incense out and kind of clear a room, but sometimes you can just be reinvigorated and get all of those benefits. We were just talking about this too. Sometimes it's hard to get your diffuser out. I mean, everyone knows, not everyone, a lot of people, there was a big craze where essential oils were all the rage because they do have healing benefits. And so you had your essential oils, you picked them out and stuff, but it was taking a lot of time to get your diffuser out.
Well, I could never get the mix right. I mean, it was like so much.
I didn't have a mixologist.
No. I didn't even try to mix. I would just buy one at a time. But speaking of, because I know they're like everything, I know all yours are very clean, and I'm sure you've done your research. How do you know, like if someone was looking for particular aromatherapy or oils, how do you know that you're getting something of quality?
Well, that's a big topic right there.
Because they're everywhere. They're sold at the grocery store even.
And I love this because you could just spray it and done.
Make sure when you're buying essential oils that they're therapeutic grade.
Therapeutic grade. Okay, everybody, remember that, therapeutic grade. That's what
there are a lot of essential oils out there that the way they've been distilled are really not good for you.
Right. Yes, I've read that. That's why I actually just kind of stopped buying them for a while because I didn't know, and until I really had time to do research. But using yours, I feel great about it. So,
and they're great quality, high therapeutic grade, and these have nothing else in them but the essential oils and distilled water. Mm-hmm. There's no emulsifier or anything chemical. Right. These are all very clean products.
So let me ask you this, and I just thought about it. So some of the like the sleep mist, and which I do replenish on my pillow all the time. Yep. So would this be something that you could spray in your bath as well?
Oh, absolutely. You can spray it anywhere. It's safe.
So it could go on the skin.
Spray it on your. I spray it over my head, like before I go to bed. And speaking of powerful, when you get the crystals and the essential oils together, they really work together in their healing properties, even more so than
Wow.
separate.
And then add your Reiki on top of that.
Right.
I mean-
These are totally infused with lots of energy, good
They are.
healing, and love. I love that. Think about when people get this as a gift. I don't know about you, but I believe that energy is spread regardless of where you are. So
Yep.
just your buddy
Yeah.
receiving this as a gift, or your sister and opening up. I mean, I just know that you can feel the love that has been put into each one of these.
Thank you.
And just to give a little really sweet plug here, this one right here is the actual packaging that comes whenever it's called your.
That's my Crystal Dreams gift set.
Oh, how fun! Crystal Dreams, y'all. It's so cool.
And then it's got the eye pillow, the spray, and there's also an amethyst heart in there. And we were talking about how great these would be for holiday gifts. And everybody needs a little luxury in their life.
Of course.
A little relaxation, a little nap, a little sleep. But yeah, I love all your stuff. But I have to say that this has changed my sleep patterns, literally.
Oh, I love that.
And it's so funny because I don't know I don't know, maybe it was you. Someone asked me, well, like, how does it stay on when you roll over? I mean, it doesn't go far. I just reach over there and grab it and just put it back on again. So
I imagine that helps to sleep posture too. I'm like a really big I don't know. Anyway, we get wrinkles when you sleep the wrong way, and it helps to kind of keep you in your right places.
That was one thing I wanted to ask about with your sleep masks, because I used to wear lashes, but now I've developed a sensitivity to them, or to the glue. What are your masks? Are they okay to wear with lashes or?
Well, I haven't had any complaints, so
Okay.
I mean,
good.
I don't wear lashes. One of the design features that I have on the sleep mask, there's little pillows on the inside of the sleep mask, and that was designed to keep the light from coming in underneath and from keeping it smashing against your eyelashes.
Right.
So that was part of the reason behind that design feature.
Interesting. That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Well, speaking of getting into a little bit of the science here, which this is the part I love, and you and I had a conversation about especially the eye pillow is weighted. So how much do you think? Do you know what this weighs? I mean,
they are like what is it? Less than 2 pounds.
Well, I mean, it's definitely weighted.
Yeah.
I mean, when you put it on, I mean, it's definitely like you can feel something on your face, but it feels wonderful to me. I guess it kind of has the same thing like weighted blankets in a way.
I have a weighted blanket, and I love it.
Yeah. So, talk to us about the nerve and what what the weight does to help you relax and or sleep.
So we have a nerve. It's back here somewhere in your ganglion nerves. It's called the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve responds to weight on your eyelids. And when it happens, it sends a signal to your body that it's time to rest.
Wow.
So it's pretty incredible. I mean, the vagus nerve controls many different bodily functions, but the weight on your eyelids just sends a signal to your body that it's time to rest.
I love
time
that.
to relax. And, like you've said, when you put that on and lay down, it's just like your body just lets go.
It really does. It really does. And I think, is it that, I don't know if I can say it now.
The vagus nerve?
Vagus nerve. I've seen that a lot lately. I mean, I've seen a lot of books about it. Evidently, it runs a lot of functions in the body.
It does.
So I'm guessing that, anyway, it sounds very important. It sounds very important that we should pay attention to that.
I think it's in with all, your nervous system too. That.
Well, and like I would imagine too, I mean, just, and I discovered this, just years ago, just from not being able to sleep. I mean, even way before, I would purchase an eye mask, I would just put anything dark over my face. And there's so much now about the light that we're getting during the day from computers and TVs and all of our phones and everything. So having that blackout, having that really dark, the ability to block everything out. I guess there's science behind that as well too.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of research has been done on this. And, we have our internal body clock, which is our circadian rhythm. And everybody sets their own depending on, if you're a late night person. But it's the cues for your body are light and darkness to set that.
Mm-hmm.
And the light and darkness tell your body it's either time to go to sleep or it's time to have a productive day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And you were talking about artificial light. That really disrupts your internal body clock, your circadian rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
And it also keeps, it suppresses the production of melatonin that you produce at night.
Mm-hmm.
And so having total darkness at night is very important.
Mm-hmm.
And even a little light creeping in from outside, an alarm clock light.
Yes.
That all, I know a lot of people say, oh, no, that doesn't affect me, but it does.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And it's been scientifically proven that it does.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I put on my sleep mask at night, it really, and it's a ritual for me too now, but it's like I tuck myself in, I put my sleep mask on, and it's lights out, night.
Well,
Yeah,
and it's a signal.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's a signal. And not only that, not only whether it's the mask or the pillow, you're also breathing the, lavender is everyone knows lavender is very calming and very relaxing. And, just getting as soon as I put that on, I get that small whiff, it's just like,
yeah.
look, I'm going to
smells
make you
so
yawn.
It smells so good, y'all. Like,
Yeah.
I held it for a little while, and I've had, probably some faux ones, manufactured not here.
Mhm.
And nothing. This is amazing. I wish I could just, convey that because I did smell, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so like, I want to relax now. And very, very small, very zen.
Mm-hmm. Very
Yes.
zen. Yes.
you.
Yeah. Well, do you have plans to add anything else to your line, or is that
There's
creative?
a lot here.
There is
Yeah,
a lot
y'all.
here, but I mean, and then I'm sure it is a lot of work. But I'm just curious. It sounds like you have a very creative mind and thinking about relaxation and all. I mean, is there anything else out there on the radar at the moment?
I've got a few ideas in mind.
Yeah.
But,
Exciting.
But then I remind myself it is just me.
Uh-huh.
And you've done there is a lot here. There's a various different stuff for each one. It's unity,
Yeah.
and sleep,
Yeah.
and
Awake and focus.
And she's doing the bowl and everything and infusing all of them with love. It's a lot of work, I know.
It is.
But I love it. I mean, I absolutely
Clearly.
love it.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's, I love what I do.
We love hearing that too, because we just had a conversation. Well, every conversation we have with so many women entrepreneurs, that's the whole point of, they love what they do. It may not be, they may not be, making money hand over fist, or they may not have a very large company, but they are contributing in the way that, it's a passion. It's a passion for them.
It is.
And, well, behind all this, there's a lot of healing. So where does that come from as a flight attendant to now a sleep expert, relaxation expert?
Honestly, moving to Asheville, I think was a huge part of it.
Yeah, Asheville, you can get immersed in. There's so much healing going. I love it. There's anything for anyone.
I love it.
I mean,
you are so right. And I really got into the crystals before they even came. It's now you see them everywhere.
Yeah.
But I always love them, and they're all over my house. And so after I came out with the sleep mask, I had already had ideas whirling around, like, what am I going to do with crystals? Crystals have to be a part of this.
I love that.
I do too.
I love that, because I don't think I've seen any other masks that, and I did not know until you just said it, that this was had crystals because, I think that maybe I had something before. I don't know. Maybe it
Sand.
had
I
rice
think mine
in
had
it.
sand
Rice or
yes.
something like
It
that,
definitely didn't have
which
the
is
love.
certainly not as sexy and, luxurious by
Right.
any means.
I mean, it has
So-
organic flaxseed, the crystals, and then I use organic dried lavender too.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Well, that's why it smells so fabulous.
I thought if the pillow's going to be on your face, I want everyone breathing.
Yeah.
What so a lot of
Nice.
we've got a lot of business entrepreneurs that are watching this show. It's kind of gone that way. We use a lot of guidance in our shows. We do talk about energy. What are some of the lessons that you've learned along the way while making by bringing your passions into life? Like, guys, this is I mean, to have a physical product is a passion. I love a lot
absolutely
of folks.
is.
Well, I didn't start this company till I was 50, so
I love that
you
too.
know, and that is
Aw.
just it doesn't matter how old you are.
No, we just talked about that
Thank
today.
you for reminding me of that.
And so you can do it at any time, and I was very proud of myself actually, and my family was too. I guess the biggest lesson was staying in my lane.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to look at other companies, and I did this in the beginning about, how are they so big and how are they so successful and blah, blah. And, it was distracting of what I was doing.
Right.
And so I had to just remember who I was, what I was trying to do, who I'm wanting to take care of, who are my people, who are my customers, and just stay in your lane, Susan.
It's the clarity conversation that we've been having. It's been like the last couple weeks, everything's about being really clear about
who you serve.
Who you
Right.
serve,
Yes.
what your product is,
Yes.
how you want to deliver it, because you're right. I think as women, we love our creativity and we can go in so many different directions, but being able to really hone that down, I think that's really good advice, Susan.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah. And well, we're almost at time, but I think you're going to have to come back.
Of course.
There's more here to talk about with the crystals and the Reiki, and
You'll have to show
I
us,
love it.
right? So we can get some
I
footage.
can do it. Yeah.
Yes.
How great we could make some here
Yes.
at the table. Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
And show how much love is really put into all
Yes.
of this. I mean, I think that's just a gem in and of itself. Like, imagine receiving this and being like, if you go to their website, you can see some footage of how each one is made, and so exciting. I mean, I just love that.
I don't know if I've seen it on your. I'm really glad we had this opportunity to talk so deeply about it, because, when people just maybe see it online or on your website, I don't know if people know what you're putting into this. It's not just a mask. It's
Right.
not just a spray. There's a whole lot more going on, and I hope that you share more about that. And we certainly will share
Yes.
about
you.
this. And of course, please share as much as you can of this show so people can really know.
Mm-hmm.
But
Also,
Absolutely.
tell us, how do people find you?
So, sleepswag.com.
I love the name. I love that name.
I know. Where did that come from?
Well, I had a company help me come up with it, but that was probably the hardest thing, is to come up with a name.
Yeah.
That was really difficult. I thought it was going to be easy. But anyway, that one was on the list, and I was like, that's it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, well, I do. I love that name.
Thank you.
And actually, I found you on Instagram. So,
and I love hearing that, because sometimes you think nobody sees.
No, that's how I found you. I was like, oh, look at this, and and the way that you would describe it, and yeah, I mean, and it was way before I knew how deeply involved you are in the healing aspects. There was. It's probably energetically, I was just so drawn to it.
I'm sure.
I mean, because yes, I love Reiki, I love crystals, I love the whole idea of aromatherapy and how all of those things have the properties to heal us. And, thank you so much for doing this. I want to ask you one more thing. We do have so many women who are entrepreneurs and who are trying to figure it out and who are alone. what's your one piece of advice that you might give to other women entrepreneurs?
Or creators, or, you know.
Right. I mean, just do it. Like, don't, I was afraid too. And I really honestly didn't even know if it was going to happen through the whole process. I mean, I did, but there was a lot of fear.
Yeah.
Of failure. And after, I finally just decided, what do I have to lose here? And no matter how small you start, if you start on Etsy or whatever, you can do it right from your home.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
I
love
love
that.
that.
You don't need a building. You don't need brick and mortar. You don't need all those things.
That's kind of what's so wonderful right now about, being able to create and be an entrepreneur. You can, work from home. But I do think creating a product and, manufacturing and everything. Yeah, kudos to you.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Because, I mean, you're the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
And, from start to finish. And we are just so proud you're in our area, and we want to support you as much as we can. So everyone go to Sleep Swag on Instagram, Facebook, your website.
At My Sleep Swag.
At My Sleep Swag, sleepswag.com that's your website. And you may want to be getting your orders in for Christmas and the holidays and that kind of thing.
Do you want to
Because
share the coupon code?
Yes. And so the coupon code for our listeners is, do you have it, Leonka, right there?
Do you have it?
I do have it. It's 15%
There you
off. 15% off all the products, y'all, which is amazing. 15% off all the products, and the code is Holiday Spirit. And we'll be sure to put this in the show notes.
Okay.
So everyone can know.
Awesome.
And go follow Susan. I mean, what an
you guys.
awesome thing you're doing. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you
Thank
both for
you.
having
Thank you
me.
for
It was
coming all the way
fun.
from Asheville. Yes. Got to have you back.
Thank you.
Well, and our when we sign off, our theme song, if you've listened to it, is by a lovely songbird here in Greenville by the name of Kylie Odetta, and the name of the song is I'm Still Here. So that's been my theme song from the beginning, and our theme song now. So we always sign off with "We're still here, everyone."
We're still here.
And then Leonka's.
I always like to say, your soul is golden. We're just here to help you remember that. So thanks for joining Golden's Guide.
Yes, thanks for being here,
Thanks
Susan.
for having me.
Go follow Sleep Swag. That's hard to say. See you next time, everyone.
I am here.